What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here coming at you today with Q&A number 58. So today's questions are brought to you by my good friend Patrician84, who's asked me 6 questions this week, but before I get into those questions I do have a couple of comments from the previous Q&A. So a comment from Patrician who stated, Celestial Observatory is actually a great way to stop Mali being a brick. I currently don't play anything with it except on Edo Pro. However, to answer your question, if Mali was errata to hard once per turn, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I think a hard once per turn on Mali would be perfectly fine. I mean, because currently, at the moment it's at 2, so if you hard once per turn it, how actually different is that anyway? Like, pretty much the only way that people can now do Mali multiple times in a turn is they have to use I think there's a couple of Destiny heroes that give you a shuffling method to put the banished Mali back into your deck, but I'm not entirely sure. But still, that's like kind of exclusive to Destiny heroes as opposed to like any kind of heroes. I think a hard once per turn would be fine. And also a comment from Matt and Alison Welch, who stated, getting into different TCGs definitely is a great idea. Nice decision, bud. Thank you very much. I'm currently enjoying getting back into it as well. So naturally, you guys have seen recently I've been doing quite a bit of Pokemon bits, because naturally I decided to build Meowscarada EX. Slowly working with that. It's almost done. I'm meeting up with my friend today. Hopefully we can exchange some bits from each of our toolkits to finish our own individual decks. I mean, his isn't nearly close to being done, but hopefully it'll be more playable after this. And I do have some Digimon content planned coming up. I made a request from one of my friends at Dead Universe of something that could be very interesting. A complete mirror match, because we're both called Alex Webb and we both have a Gallantmon deck. However they function differently, but so I thought it would be an interesting idea to do a mirror match between 2 different styles of playing Gallantmon. My style, which is kind of based on security, it's a security control, just smacking straight into security, and his is like a trash build. That's not me, and for those who are unfamiliar with how Digimon works, that's not me calling his deck bad. Trashing in Digimon is like the equivalent of milling in any other card game, but they call it trashing it. So yeah, that's kind of what his version does. So it's quite different to mine, but both work in a pretty interesting way. So I think it could be a pretty interesting and amusing match to have. And with those comments cleared up, let's get on to the actual Q&A bit. So, first question from Patrician84. Has anyone ever tried to get you to play a game that you don't want to play, whether it's a card game or video game? Yes, they have. When Fortnite started becoming a thing, I've had so many people from a combination of colleagues and customers at work saying, oh, you should play Fortnite, it's really fun. I'm like, I don't want to play Fortnite. But then one evening I was really bored at home and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to play one game, give it a try. Gave it a try. Fortnite. So boring. Could not understand a thing of what you're supposed to do. So I gave it a try, just wasn't my thing. I could not understand it at all, and now don't really care. And in terms of card games, yes, a lot of the guys from Tabletop Republic are trying to convince me to try out Lorcana. I won't deny it does look a bit interesting, though from the description they said it's kind of a combination between Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, which doesn't really help me because I have no idea how Magic the Gathering works. I don't want to know how it works. I'm in enough card games as it is right now. And frankly, my decision to go back into Pokemon is probably the main reason I'm not going to be investing in Lorcana right now, because now right now there's Pokemon that I really want to get into right now. So I think if I was to get into Lorcana, I'd have to like properly get out of at least one of my card games right now. But frankly, I'm okay with 3 I've got. I might consider looking at Lorcana, but we'll see. 2. Your channel and Team Sorcerers are the closest among the team to reach 1,000 subscribers. Who do you think will get there first? I probably think Team Sorcerers is going to beat me to 1,000 subscribers. Ever since the team got that little robot, our subscribers are just shooting straight up through the roof. And for those who subscribe to my channel who haven't seen it on Team Sorcerers, I would highly recommend checking it out. It is pretty, I won't deny, it is pretty cool. So yeah, I think our addition of that new robot is kind of really helping the subscribers, and frankly with me, yes, I can produce some interesting content, but I'm just not very consistent with my uploading, and until such time I can get to myself into a point where I can be a bit more consistent, I'm probably not even going to be close to reaching that 1,000 subscribers. Like, I pretty much had a pretty decent schedule leading up to before the pandemic, and then basically the pandemic completely threw me off, and I've never really kind of been able to get myself back into it, because I wanted to get back into like doing it the old way, but then I opted to take over judging at Dead Universe, which kind of changed how my scheduling was being able to be done, and like ever since I really just haven't been able to figure out what I'm going to do about it. But now that I'm getting into multiple TCGs, I'm hoping I can start getting a bit more content out than I usually do, so hopefully that should start getting me back into like a new version of the normal of what I'm going to do with my channel, but currently still figuring it out. 3. Any ideas what you might do if and when you reach 1,000 subscribers? I have absolutely no clue what I would do. I mean, I would probably do something to celebrate, I just have no idea what I would do yet. Nothing currently comes to mind. But that's something for me to think about when I'm probably at, say, the 900 mark, and then I actually am close to getting 1,000 subscribers. So, but I've got plenty of time to figure out what I'm going to do. 4. Are you going to attend the GOAT format tournament at TTR next week? I'm still undecided if I'm going. Well, that's good to know that they're doing GOAT next week. Frankly, I don't know if I'm gonna go. Like, GOAT is a really great and fun format. Probably most of the other guys will have decks that are a lot better than mine, though mine's just a very, very basic version of GOAT, but I suppose frankly, I've never really done an alternate format tournament at Tabletop Republic, primarily because I've never had an alternate format deck, but this time I actually do, so I might give it a go, I might not, I'm not really sure. I mean, I literally just found out that they're doing GOAT from this question, so I'll give it some thought and let you know. 5. What if Endymion got more support? I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Always happy to see Endymion get more support. I think, in my opinion, if I wanted to see them get more support, I'd like to maybe see a bit more, like, synergy, or like trying to fuse it with the Mythical Beast archetype, because frankly right now it seems like Mythical Beast doesn't really function as well without Endymion. They kind of just support each other way too well. So I feel like they kind of just need to push the archetypes together into one, and then... So that'd be nice. So I think that'd be pretty nice to see. Or maybe something else I'd like to see them add into in terms of support is that Karibo idea that I came up with in a previous Q&A. That I think would be pretty interesting to see. And 6. Can you imagine if there was a Friends and Big Bang Theory crossover? I doubt it would ever happen, but I'd love to see it. I also can't imagine what that would be like, but like you, yes, I would definitely be very interested in seeing that. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an interesting idea, because Friends for a long time was like the sitcom with the longest running sitcom until such time Big Bang Theory just kept going and kind of overtook it a bit. So yeah, it would definitely be interesting to see what happens if those two were to collab together, but as we said, unlikely to happen, but definitely would be cool to see. I think I've heard like some of the cast say it would definitely be an interesting thing to see as well, but again, who knows. And on that note, guys, that is all the questions I have for today. So thank you very much, Darknutrition84, for your questions. Very amusing as always. And if anybody else has any questions for me, I do these Q&As every Wednesday, UK time, morning or afternoon, depending on my schedule. And before I end the video, guys, I'd like to make another additional announcement that I'm going to be throwing a small competition within my channel. So as I've told you guys, since my decision of going into multi-TCG, I need to design myself a new playmat that I want to just have blank with no zones. I mean, that's just what I mean. Blank just being no zones. Naturally, there's going to be something on it. But I'm still kind of trying to figure out the idea. So I thought to myself, I could try to figure out a few ideas. I've got a couple of ideas. Or I could try having a bit more fun. Maybe throw it out as a competition of letting you guys decide what I use on my playmat. So the competition I have in mind, since I've been getting back more into Pokemon stuff recently, I thought it would be a slight Pokemon based competition. So I'm not sure if I mentioned to you guys, one of the collections I'm trying to do in Pokemon right now is I want to collect one Pokemon from every team that I've played in one of the games. So I thought to myself, why not I turn this into a slight competition? So my competition is, and I wrote it down here, so if any one of you can correctly guess an entire team that I have used in one of the generations, you can have decision on what I do with my new playmat. Now, I'm not going to be giving very minimal hints to this whatsoever, because naturally if I give any hints of stuff I did use, that could potentially give you ideas of like what the rest of my team was. So no details on any of my starters or anything. I will however give a couple of small hints simply by telling you which versions of by going through which versions of the games I did pick, just to make it somewhat easier. So that's not the list. Okay, so the Gen 1 team I picked was from when I did my playthrough of Fire Red. My Gen 2 team is from when I played Pokemon Heart Gold. My Gen 3 team I chose for my Pokemon Omega Ruby playthrough. I would have done my very original version of Emerald, which was the first Pokemon game I played. Unfortunately, I can't remember everything I used on that. And frankly, I don't think I had a very good team, because I remember when I did my original playthrough of Emerald, I got stuck partway through because I didn't know about the thing with the team, with the extra bit in the Team Magma based on the Jagged Pass, because naturally in that game they combined the two things. So I got stuck for a while, and by the time I figured out what I was supposed to do, my Swampert and Crobat were level 90. I kind of spent a lot of time rebattling trainers and grinding EXP. So I decided, and since I couldn't remember the rest of the team, I did remember what I played through in my Omega Ruby team when that came out, so I chose that as my team. For Gen 4, I chose Pokemon, I think it was, did I choose Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl? It was one of those two games. I think this one was from when I did Shining Pearl. Yeah, because I did Shining Pearl first and then I did Brilliant Diamond. So, and again, that's simply because I could not remember what I used in my original playthrough on Diamond when I did it on DS. And then for Gen 5, I went with my Pokemon White team, which, interestingly enough, I could remember. Then Gen 6, I went for Pokemon Y. Then Gen 7, which was my Pokemon Moon team. Gen 8, I picked Pokemon's... Which one did I pick first? I think I picked Sword. I picked Sword. And then my Gen 9 team is my Pokemon Violet team. So if anyone can correctly guess any of those, you can pick my playmat. Additionally, I will give one slight additional hint as well for regarding these are hints in regards to my Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Y teams, which naturally had the introduction of Mega Evolution in Gen 6. So I will give you guys the hints that for each of those 2 teams, I had 2 Mega Evolved Pokemon. But that's all I'm saying. So, thank you very much for watching, guys, and for anyone interested in trying out this competition, I wish you the absolute best of luck. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.